Hi Pisces, how are we today? Just doing our weekly readings. This week we are actually looking at June, seeing what's going on for the month of June. Make sure you do subscribe to the channel so you can stay up to date with all the readings. We are going to be looking at general as well as love for the month of June, but this month we are using the cosmic messages as well as the rising moon lenormand. We will be looking at the general stuff, using the oracles as a bit of an overview, and then delving into start, middle, and end of June. Then when we look at love, we're using the forest spirits oracle cards as well as the romantic lenormand. Okay, so getting sort of straight on into it for you, Pisces, starting off with that overview for June. What's going on for Pisces in June? June 2025 for Pisces. Open your heart, not just a little, all the way, and let the love flow in. Okay, Pisces. So we do see that, there is this message coming through here about needing to open your heart and sort of let the floodgates of love open within your own self here, allowing the love to flow in. That sort of lets us know that there is love trying to come in to your life in some way, shape, or form. Clarify the overview for Pisces in June, please. We see the feminine coming through first, Pisces, followed by the coffin. Okay, so the coffin does talk about something needing to end. I feel like for a lot of you that is, blocking your feminine energy needs to come to an end. And we need to really, really look at our feminine energy in a new kind of way here, Pisces. The feminine really does talk about, nurturing the emotions within oneself rather than blocking those emotions. It's about allowing those emotions to flow. Open your heart not only to yourself but to the people and things around you in your life as well. So transforming the way that we are delving into our divine feminine and allowing that to be divine feminine energy rather than any sort of unevolved, unresolved issues with our emotions and the way that we're allowing those in or out of ourselves. Okay, so, coming from a more heart-based place rather than, trying to block the heart space in the month of June here. Okay, I do sort of feel a lot of you have been blocking a lot of feelings in the recent past here. We did get a similar message for you recently in one of the other readings as well. But June, Pisces, what's going on for Pisces in June? Start, middle, and end of June for our Pisces, please. What does Pisces need to know during June, please? Okay, so the start of the month here, we do have the book starting us off with the masculine. Okay, so we're starting a new chapter with, opening our heart to the masculine energies, but, by embracing our own feminine. So it is kind of talking about yin yang a little bit here, that we're opening our heart to the masculine through our own feminine. So, and that, both of those in conjunction balance. It's yin yang. Okay, so we're starting a new chapter here where we're embracing the mysteriousness of the masculine. The masculine quite a lot of the time comes from chaos and confusion and fighting oneself, whereas when we open our feminine energy up, open our heart space up, we are actually able to learn a little bit more about the masculine side of things in a more nurturing way. The masculine is there to protect the feminine energy, but the feminine actually allows growth and promotes and stimulates growth within the masculine energy. So I do feel as though this is kind of like a balancing out at the start of June for you. Definitely for some of you, educating yourself a little bit more, learning something here about the way that you have maybe been opening yourself up. You have maybe been in the past opening yourself up in a very sort of logical thought process kind of a way that you know, it's kind of different. You know, when we open up to somebody and we're coming from a very logical, rational, this is who I am, this is what I like to do, this is, you know, the things I do with my free time, this is, you know, the music I like, and you know, it's very, very logical, measured steps of this is who I am. But to show somebody this is who I am from a heart space is completely different, because it's got to do with, you know, these are my goals, this is the things that have hurt me, these are the things that make me feel vulnerable and unsafe, these are the things that make me feel safe. You know, it's a much more emotional connections. So we really are balancing that out a little bit here, and learning more about the way that we have been broaching life up until here, and how, you know, what things about that need to, you know, maybe change just a little bit to, in order to encompass that feminine energy a little bit more here, Pisces. The middle of the month, we do see, pardon, we do see a focus here on, we have the ring and the lily coming through here. And so we do sort of see, you know, a commitment being made to your emotional self. The lily really does talk about emotional intimacy. So you are really sort of making some sort of commitment here to be more emotionally intimate with people, be a little bit more vulnerable and open to people when it comes to the emotional stuff. And for a lot of you, this is also to yourself. Okay, recommitting to be a little bit more vulnerable and emotional, just within oneself. All right, that we are you know, maybe looking through the patterns and cycles that through the past, that have sort of held us back from being emotionally connected to people and things around us, and really paying attention to those things. The lily also is a very long-term energy, so it's kind of like really looking at, you know, well, you know, if I want long-term relationships, I need to make, you know, commitments that are showing these people that I am long term, and I'm willing to show my true self, my authentic self, to be a long term person. You know, whereas the masculine energy, that a lot of the time is a much more shorter term connection, whereas the feminine energy, it's a longer term nurturing. There's a potential for growth within connections. So I feel like for a lot of you, you are sort of looking back at patterns that you've created in your past, even going back a very long way, you know, with that lily there. That can be long term in the past as well as long term in the future. So a few of you here looking back at the patterns you've created throughout your life, and how that has made you sort of close off emotionally, or, you know, when you have opened up emotionally, why is that such a hard thing for you? Because you're looking back at the patterns of what has happened when you've opened up emotionally in the past, and you know, embracing that a little bit in a new kind of a way. So I feel like for a lot of you, it's just looking at patterns throughout your life here in order to become a little bit more emotionally connected to yourself. We do see here at the end of June, we have the mice, followed by the clover. And you can kind of see here, this clover, it's kind of, you know, it's already being blown away into, you know, with the clover, it's like, we see the little dandelion fluff clover in this one, which is, you know, here in Australia, we would call them, you know, we use them to make a wish and blow them and make a wish, which it kind of is. It's taking this risk to let go of the past a little bit and not allow those past patterns to have a hold on you anymore here, Pisces. You're kind of blowing them away, allowing them to be sort of swept off into the air. And it does feel like a bit of a risk, a chance that you're taking, because you're, you know, this is something you've probably held on to for quite a long time, and it's a whole new way of being. It's a risk to try something new when you've been doing, you know, if you've been doing something the same way for, you know, 10 years, 20 years, it does feel like a risk to sort of get out of your comfort zone and try a different way of doing things. But it's a risk worth taking here. And we're seeing that you're kind of allowing the past to drift off into the sky for yourself at the end of the month. It's giving me this really sweet kind of analogy here about, you're investing in the future by, allowing the past to sort of drift away from you a little bit here, and you're blowing that out, often making a wish that, I want the future to be different, because the past, I've looked at the cycles from the past, and I want the future to be different. So I'm willing to, release the past in order to, and release the stress associated with the past in order to, take a chance on my own future here. So I feel like this month is really about a shift in perspective for a lot of you here, Pisces, about the way that you're, holding emotions and allowing yourself to feel emotions and adapt emotionally rather than just holding those back altogether. But looking at love and romance for Pisces in June. What's going on for Pisces in June with love and romance? Ooh, we have the spider spirit, the dream weaver. Such a cute little jumping spider in this picture. Even if you're not someone who likes spiders, these guys are pretty harmless, these little jumping spiders, but they're so tiny too that they're really cute. Practice the powerful art of attraction to draw in and capture opportunities for yourself. So it's kind of like with the spider spirit, it's there is an element here of you needing to sort of cast your net, and it's bringing to mind, actually, I had a conversation recently with a Pisces about how learning to crochet. So it's kind of giving me that energy here as well, like casting your net in that sense, that you're needing to, pull all these strings around you in order to bring things and magnetize things into your web rather than pushing things away. It's practicing the powerful art of attraction to draw in and capture opportunities. So it's really asking you to know that if you, especially with what we saw in your general there, Pisces, that if you want heart-based connections, that it is very important to open your heart. That if that's what the like attracts like. If this is what you want to receive, then you do need to give that in order to attract more of that. The more that you're giving that heart energy, the more that you're receiving that in return. Okay, and that's kind of what this spider spirit is talking about as well. If you're wanting to attract positive, healthy relationships to you, you need to, magnetize that energy to you by projecting that yourself as well, that I am healed, I am healthy, I'm willing to be a healthy partner for somebody else. So therefore you're exuding that energy. That's more likely what you're going to attract back in. If you're putting out there into the universe, all I ever see is toxic relationships, or all I ever get is toxic relationships, you don't realize it a lot of the time, but you're actually attracting that to you, because that's you're saying to the universe, all I ever get is toxic, all I ever get is toxic, and all the universe is hearing is toxic. So that's what it sends you. So like attracts like, Pisces, so be aware of that. It does seem to be magnetizing energy towards you this month, and the art of attraction, the power of attraction, very strong for you this month. Okay, that you attract what you put out. So be very wary of what you're putting out there, because that's exactly what you're going to bring back in. All right, but having a look at June for Pisces with love and romance. Love and romance for our Pisces in June, please. Start, middle, and end of June for Pisces with love and romance. Going through the motions a little bit here, Pisces. The start of the month, we do see the fish and the bear. Okay, so pardon. as we all know, the fish try, the bear tries to catch the fish. They go upstream to specifically to try to catch the fish. Okay, so the fish though is abundance, wealth, finances. So I do feel though, for a lot of you, you are very, very focused on financial gain throughout the start of the month. You're, trying to, I feel like it's a distraction technique a little bit here, Pisces, that, because we're delving through, opening ourselves up to other things, you're kind of like, well, I'm just going to focus on money. I'm a little bit defensive here with that bear energy, a little bit, trying to defend my territory. So in order to defend myself and, put up this strength within myself and stay strong and confident in who I am, it means that I'm just going to focus on the material world a little bit. So we do see, at the start of June here that, the the need to balance the masculine, because the fish really is masculine energy, and so it really is the need to balance that energy and with the feminine side of the bear. So the bear does feel a little bit defensive at first, but once you you know once the bear lets you in, it is a very nurturing, protective energy. So there is something here about, you feeling as though you need to protect your financial side of things, that you need to protect your wealth. You're protecting your abundance and being very on guard, I feel, at the start of the month there. And then, as we saw already, that the need to attract is strong this month for you. And so it feels like you do come to a bit of a realization here that, well, I'm so on guard, that people are going to, interrupt my feelings of wealth and abundance, that I'm not actually allowing anyone close enough to me to even throw me off balance. So hang on, maybe I do need to actually, lower those defenses a little bit, just to, it's, yes, have strong boundaries, but it's all about, your inner strength. It's kind of like, am I being strong to the point of actually being a little bit defensive here and coming across as, defending my territory very, very, steadfastly, or do I need to lower that down a little bit and allow people to see, open my heart a little bit and allow people to see that, I don't just care about money, I don't just care about my abundance. There's a lot more going on behind that bear energy, that the protective energy is coming from, your past, and the need to balance the masculine and feminine there. For sure. But you do kind of seem to come to some sort of realization that that's what's happening for you, Pisces, and that's part of why you are really making a bit more of a conscious effort this month to open your heart space and allow love in. If you're wanting love around you, you need to actually lower the defenses a little bit here, especially around the start of the month. The middle of the month, we do see the snake and the garden coming through here for you, Pisces. So it's kind of like, once again, just a little element there of those defenses still at play, Pisces, with the snake coming through there, that you are a little bit guarded against things still a little bit there. I feel like it's a process. Yeah, it's a process. The snake kind of shows us that there's that doubt within you, that yes, even though I may feel, a lot of desire and passion to meet somebody or move forward in love and romance, to compromise a little bit more, there's another part of me in the back of my head kind of telling me, all that's going to happen is the past. All that's going to happen is I'm going to get betrayed. I'm going to get deceived. It's all an illusion. So there is the niggly little voice in the back of your head, Pisces, telling you that it's all an illusion. But I feel as though that's just part of what you're dealing with, I feel, this month. And that's why, you're needing to be very aware that the more that you're putting that fear out into the universe, the more that's what you're going to attract. That Dreamweaver energy, once again, that if you want positive opportunities, you need to project the positive hopefulness and the optimism that things could actually be different to the past. And there is a lot of passion, fiery passion coming from you here, Pisces. This is physical. I do feel like a physical attraction to somebody in particular around the middle of the month here. It does, with the garden, it's kind of a more sociable energy. It's getting out of the house and going out and spending time with friends, meeting people, going on dates. Okay, it can be physical attraction, it can be physical intimacy. So for a lot of you here, there is this opportunity to be, have the passion and the desire on a physical level that you're wanting. You can meet somebody that you have that. You're meeting them halfway with that they, you've attracted that to you because you've put that out there a little bit more in the middle of the month there. But there is just still that background noise of needing to be careful with the, what exactly we are attracting to us because of what we're putting out there. But there is a need to compromise a little bit here, Pisces. Meet someone halfway, but ultimately it does just feel like, a steamy, saucy date for a lot of you in the middle of the month there. All right, but the end of the month, we have the birds followed by the stork. Okay. Just be aware that that is my pregnancy card. So for those of you where that is a steamy, saucy, physical attraction there in the middle of the month, this definitely could be a pregnancy, popping in there. So just be aware of that if that's not something you're wanting to attract there. Okay, but ultimately, I feel like this is having conversations about the way that we're moving forward when it comes to love and romance. The birds does talk about, chitter chatter. We see a lot of social energy for you in the middle of the month. And I feel like for a lot of you, we're continuing that through the end. We're talking to our friends, our family about, what it actually is that we're interested in when it comes to love and romance here. And we're trying to stir up new ideas about what we actually want and which direction we're actually going, what we're trying to attract, what we're trying to manifest when it comes to love. And we're, stirring up the energy, getting things moving and maybe going on a few dates in the middle of the month there. And it's really leading us into these conversations with, yourself and with others about, hang on, well, what exactly am I trying to stir up here? Am I trying to stir up a relationship, or am I trying to stir up, just casual fun or situationships and things like that? For some of you, this is that conversation happening at the end of the month where, I'm stirring the pot a little bit to get things moving in the direction that I want. I am sort of feeling that for some of you, trying to stir that casual thing into something a little bit longer term for yourselves there. But it's all about finding new ideas and perspectives on what exactly you are trying to attract to you here with love. So once again, it's a process this month for you, Pisces. I feel as though for some of you, you definitely are getting out and about in the middle of the month and the end of the month, sort of dating and sort of seeing what's out there and seeing, what do I need to compromise on with what I want? And that's why we are coming up with new ideas at the end of the month. You're kind of seeing what's out there and, that's sort of stirring your thought process a little bit there, stirring conversations about, what is it that I actually do want here? Am I dating for this reason or that reason? So it really sort of stirs your brain a little bit at the end of the month there, gets you really thinking about, hang on, well, what exactly am I trying to attract? I need to be very specific with what I'm putting out so that I can receive what I actually want here. Okay, so that's what I have for you this week, Pisces. You're more than welcome to check out your other placements, of course. Subscribe to the channel, and we see you again soon.